You know the vibes, BJ. We're almost at All-Star Weekend. Tonight we're seeing the Rising Stars. Tomorrow we're seeing the dunk contest, the three-point contest, and Sunday night we're seeing the All-Star game. Man, am I excited? How are you feeling?
My mind is full.
I
can't wait, man. So much hype, so much to talk about, so much going on this week. But we don't have enough time today. We don't have enough time. All-Star Weekend. So Mo, we got to get to it. We got to get into what they want.
We got to give the people what they want because they're listening to the Hoop Genius podcast sponsored by NBA 2K22. If you don't already have your copy, hit the link in the description to help support the show and get your copy of NBA 2K because you see the action that you're going to be seeing on All-Star Weekend. You're going to want to dive into the game and play with those players. So don't be lacking. Make sure you get your copy. But BJ, we've got to give the people what they want, okay? And we're going to give them the answers to their questions. Here's a very special edition, an all-star edition of Hoopology, the section where BJ and I answer your questions. Class is now in session. BJ Armstrong, the first question comes in from regular listener, Andy Williams, who wants to know, his question is very simple. BJ, what's it like? All-Star Weekend, what's it like?
All-Star Weekend, I could go on and on and on and on, but I got to boil it down to it's the very best of the very best. And I was very fortunate to have an opportunity to participate as a player, participate in the festivities and the three-point contest and all of those things. And it's great. It's one of the greatest things I've ever been involved with. You are with the best players, the best league, the best competition. And hopefully every player will have an opportunity at some point during their career to participate and be humbled with how this business, everything I did in my life was because of that little ball, Mo. And it's just an amazing weekend to see, to play, but more importantly, to participate. Phenomenal, great memories.
Well, I'm going to give you an alternative answer. I've not been selected as an NBA All-Star, but what I can tell
Not yet, Mo. Not yet.
But from a media perspective, what All-Star Weekend is like, as great as it is for you to enjoy and celebrate and bask in the greatness of yourself and your teammates, for the media, it is nothing but chaos. I've never seen the last All-Star Weekend I was at was in Chicago just before the pandemic, right? I've never seen so many media people in one room. It was literally like a scrum of people. Like I've seen media at all types of games, NBA games, international NBA games. I've never seen so many people there. Reporters from every country in the world. Everyone's trying to squeeze through. Now, I'm lucky I'm big. I've seen some guys getting pushed to the side by cameramen. I'm lucky I'm a big brother because no one's pushing me. But even trying to ask one question to the players on All-Star Weekend, crazy. It's so busy. It's so hectic, but I love it. Next question comes in from GA34, regular listener of the show. Big up to yourself. He says, if you could bring any two players from history to play in this year's All-Star game, who would it be? One from the East and one from the West.
Without question, would be Magic Johnson.
Okay.
Magic Johnson in the West.
East.
I mean, when you say show, that's the show. And of course, you know, I would say Jordan because that's the obvious. But you know who I really loved watching? Because I want to go back to my own childhood. The Doctor.
Dr. J.
Oh, you got to have the Doctor. You got to have the pro. You got to have the Doctor was the original entertainer. You know, that's Julius. That's the Doc. You know what I mean? Class act. So I would have Doctor from the East, Magic from the West.
Well, I'm going to tell you from my generation, we of course need the Mamba. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. We need the Mamba. If I could bring anyone back, it would be Kobe. And from the East, from my generation, I need a time machine to bring Derrick Rose back from 2011.
Oh,
Derrick Rose before the injuries in the All-Star game. Yo, D-Rose, give me some.
Why you do this to me, bro?
D-Rose, give me some Allen Iverson. Give me something. I need the explosiveness.
Man, you know what?
And that's a fantastic question.
That prime D-Rose. Oh, man. Woo.
Man, listen, we can dive into that, but we've still got more questions. We've got to keep it moving. Liam Byrne wants to know, by the way, big up to everyone who sends in questions. We appreciate all of you. Liam Byrne wants to know, who is the one player you'd want to see in the All-Star game that doesn't necessarily deserve to be there, you think would just be fun to watch? For example, Liam's would be Reggie Jackson. So this is the vibe selection. This is, who do you want there for the vibes?
Is it from any era or just this era?
from this season. I don't think Reggie Jackson would be his all-time pick. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
With all due respect.
Who would I like to see? Yeah, who would I like to see in the All-Star games who I think would be fun? You know who I would like to see? Jamal Murray.
Yeah, that's an interesting shout.
I would like to see Jamal Murray. And because you know what? Jamal Murray is always trying to destroy players. You know, he's always trying to like give it to you no matter what. You know what I mean? He's in the All-Star game and he might try to give you a 50 ball. I can just see him. Jamal Murray would be fun because he's got a unique personality to me where he's a very aggressive player, which I love, but he's always trying to, you know, he's trying to give it to Steph. He's trying to give it to Kyrie. And he has it, he's trying to give it to Donovan Mitchell. He's always trying to do his thing no matter what. He's all about that smoke. So he would be fun for me.
Do you know who I want to see? You know who I'm going to say. I want Rajon Rondo in the All-Star game because
he's been an All-Star before. He's been an All-Star.
But the reason why I want him in, first of all, no one's throwing bare alley-oops up to the Giannis, up to LeBron. That's just alley-oop central. Second of all, everyone gets onto players for not taking the All-Star game seriously. Rondo is nuts. If he was in that locker room, he's going to make you take the All-Star game seriously. He's going to say, yo, LaMelo, you need to chill. We're going to win this game. So I think he'd bring a level of competitiveness to the All-Star game that, we don't usually see. But, speaking
shout
of
out
that,
to Rondo.
Yeah. Speaking of that, though, shout out to Mark, shared today's podcast on his Instagram story for all his friends and family to see. Big up to Mark. He said, egos. How do all these big stars manage to get the mindset of being okay with sharing the limelight, having been the big star on a respective team all season? Also, are there any big beefs that could potentially impact the game?
Well, I think most of the players, yes, I mean, I want to acknowledge there are a lot of egos, but when you are a great player, you respect the other players. And as a professional, you can intimidate a lot of players who may not be sure with themselves. The thing that really gets your ego in check is when you really look across somebody and you really, you try to intimidate that person, and then that person comes right back at you. Now you've gone from intimidating them to saying, I got to compete. Okay. You know what I mean? You're not going to, intimidate Kobe Bryant. You're not going to intimidate Michael Jordan. So now you have to compete. So your ego has to be okay with, you know what? I may not win this game, but I got to show up and compete. And that's the one thing that the All-Star game taught me. These players are so good. You're not going to intimidate anyone. You're not going to stop anyone, but you have to learn how to compete at the highest level.
And, and for the second part of the question, are there any big beefs that could impact the game this year? I think players put that aside because it's just bad PR to be beefing at an All-Star game. The All-Star game is about putting on a show for the family. Yeah. I don't see any players, no matter their grudges.
I'm going to tell you, Mo.
Any players in this year's All-Star game having any problems in the All-Star game.
I think, look, every year I watch the game or go to the game. All right. I'm not going this year, but next year you and I are going from here.
100.
We're going to every game.
100.
Okay? We're going to sit there and we're going to have great seats and we're going to do this for our fans. Every year, Mo, I want you to watch this. And I learned this with playing with great players. Every player always finds a reason to play. The great players, there's always a game within the game. The greatest player or the best player who thinks he's the best player will always establish that he is the best player here on both teams. Okay. We just had Brendan Sir there. Brendan Sir will tell you that Michael Jordan wanted to establish he was the best player in the world. Kawhi Leonard did it in Chicago.
Yep.
Giannis, I think, has something to
He did it last year.
He did it last year. I think he's really going to do it this year because if he does that this year, he will set the stage for everyone else to bow down and stand down. And now we're going to go there. We're going to have fun. We're going to alley-oops and all these things. But Giannis has a chance right now to make a statement. And I'm looking for him to come out and establish, you guys have fun, but I'm the best player and this is my league. Because that 50 piece he did just this week.
Yep.
He didn't do that just to have a 50 piece. He's letting everybody know this is my league and I'm about to turn up, and I want to see who's going to respond. Normally, when someone has 50, there's another player that's going to have 45 or 50 to let them know. This is why I love the Jokic and Embiid thing.
Yep.
This is whenever Embiid does something, Jokic does something. Whenever Jokic does something, Embiid does something.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis is trying to crush the entire NBA.
Yep. And he saw the other night Philly holding that big L, and he said, you know what? Let me come out and establish my case for MVP.
Oh, but so watch this game within the game.
Okay.
There is going to be a player who's going to want to establish that this is his league. And now the league is open for that.
I'm intrigued to see who that's going to be, because I know that young Ja Morant's going to be trying to do the same thing too.
Oh, yes,
we got more
yes,
questions.
Sir.
We got to keep it moving. We got more questions. Pierce Glinchy is asking, do you like the jerseys that the West and the East teams are wearing this year, or should they bring back the individual team jerseys instead, where every player used to wear their own team's uniform for the All-Star game?
You know, I like the team uniforms because there's a familiarity with it. But I'm fine with the All-Stars. I'm fine with that. I wish I had. I got my All-Star jersey right here. I wish I could show it to you. And it's cool, but it's something about having your team jersey. It's kind of like, I'm familiar with seeing the players in the jersey. I've been watching them all year. There's something about that to me that's like it's like reaffirming to my eyes. So, but I'm cool. I'm cool either way.
And as the king of the drip, I gotta say, no, I prefer when the NBA makes special edition All-Star, because we've seen some great ones. We've seen some real.
You're a consumer, Mo. That's called consumerism. That's called consumerism.
Damn right, because I'm trying to be sourced down. I'm trying to be flexing in the summertime in my jersey. Now, if I'm a big Boston Celtics fan, there's only so many green jerseys I can buy. It's nice to have a chance to buy other color jerseys. Okay. I'm tired of wearing green and white everywhere I go. Okay.
So, Mo, it's really about you.
It's all about me. Of course, it's all about me. I'm trying to be, it's drip or drown season, baby. Listen, the All-Star jerseys, some of them have been so iconic. I'm not a huge fan of this year's, but I need to see them. I've only seen, the graphics. I need to see them in person to see what they're really like. But, I like them doing Christmas Day jerseys. I like them doing All-Star jerseys. I like them doing, the special edition St. Patrick's Day jerseys. I like all of any chance I can get more jerseys that I don't already have, I'm there for it. Okay. I love it, man. I love it. I love
Mo and his drip, bring on the new jerseys.
Yes.
Problem solved. I'll get that to Adam Silver next week.
You let him know, but let me design some, because this year's ones are a little bit boring. But anyway, question from Matthew McDonald. He says, do you think they should bring in a rule to be an all-star, such as certain amount of games played or team records, such as being above 500, to be a criteria to being in the all-star team?
I think teams played for sure. I mean, games played for sure. I think, if you're missing games, because you got to perform, right? I mean, we understand that the fans, as they should, want to see their favorite players, but I don't think that's fair to all the players who are playing, who are playing or healthy or whatever the case may be. And what was the second part?
Team records. Should there be?
Listen, there's a lot of debate. I tend to believe, if you're out there playing and you're playing good basketball, a good brand of basketball, I don't think that matters as much, but it does help.
I think that to be a starter in the All-Star game, your team has to be above 500. That's when I vote for my players, you have to be above 500 to be a star in the All-Star game. If you're a great player who's on a bad team and you're not winning games, you could be an All-Star reserve. There's nothing wrong with being an All-Star reserve, but I think we do have to reward winning. And, there's so many great players in the league. You've got to find some reason to separate guys over the others. So for me, you have to be on a plus 500 team to be a starter. And of course, you have to play a certain amount of games, but it's also nice to honor the players who have been playing great, but have been injured. Like KD's an all-star, even though he's not playing in the all-star game. Draymond's an all-star, even though, so I respect that. Speaking of playing in the all-star game, our friend Jack has sent in a question.
Oh,
and he says, how many points would you get in the celebrity game, Mo? I'm thinking it would be something like, and then he's attached a graphic of Tony Snell recording 0.0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 blocks, 0 steals in 28 minutes. I'm going to tell you this.
No, Jack, can I say, I got to answer this to Jack before you answer. Jack, my career as an agent, I've had an amazing career. But my biggest achievement would be to get my new client, Mo Moonsey, in the celebrity game.
Yes, sir.
I am on a mission. I am on a mission now. Jack put it out in the universe. So now we have to get this done.
Okay.
And in return, all we're asking, Mo, is more than 5 points.
PJ, I'm going to tell you
That's
this.
all we're asking. That's all we're asking.
I'm going to tell you this.
That's all we're asking.
And I'm going to say it on record so we can pull this up after I do it. All-Star Game 2024. Okay. 2024 All-Star Game. Celebrity game, I'm going to drop a 30 piece. I'm going to win MVP. He's playing against celebrities. Have you seen the celebrities that they've got them playing in this game?
Oh, yeah, I see the celebrities.
Yeah, I'm going to go drop 30.
Oh, they've had like J. Cole.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on. They've had some really good players.
And they're going to have an even better player when I play. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Mo, let me tell you something.
Go on.
Let me tell you something. You know what, Mo? Sitting here comfortably, it sounds good.
Okay.
But someone's got to run up and down that court, Mo.
That's why I said 2024, not 2023.
Mo.
Because I need to be in
court
elite
is low.
That's why I said 24, not 23, BJ. I'm not playing. 2 years of hard training.
You know what?
I will start training on Monday after All-Star weekend. Give me 2 years and I will drop 30. I'm telling you this right now. I'm telling you this.
I'm getting it done. I'm getting this done. Ladies and gentlemen, we need the listeners. We need our family to keep listening to this podcast so we can get Mo to the All-Star game. Because I will pay. We got to bring some of our family members or our listeners to watch, to support. And there's no way. I love you, Mo. There's no way you're giving us 30.
Okay.
30, Mo?
When I lift that celebrity MVP trophy above my head, we'll see. We'll see. Come on, B. Because here's the difference.
30, Mo?
I'm not there to make friends. I'm there to get buckets. That's what I do. Let me get in shape. Let me get back to it. When I'm in shape,
okay.
You know, the jumper stays wet. The jumper stays wet. All I need to do is get in shape.
I'm gonna roll with my client then. My client says he's gonna give 30. Let's roll. All right, there we go. 2024. You heard it here. You heard it here.
Yes, sir. Okay, we have some more questions coming in. Another Jack, JH Jack _ says, if you could pick one player from each team to make the biggest statement out of the guys making their all-star debuts. So which of the young guys do you think is going to make the biggest impact in the all-star game?
Man, it's a lot of first timers here.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Ja Morant has something to prove.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think Ja Morant will not be satisfied with just showing up. I think he wants to, maybe touch the throne a little bit.
I think he's going to try to. I think he's definitely going to try to.
I think he's going to try to, say, okay, I'm not just here. I'm here to kind of set the tone for the next 5 to 10 years that I'm going to be the best player. I mean, he's doing that. I think another player who has something to prove is Fred VanVleet.
Mm-hmm.
Because we love to cheer for the underdog. And Fred, like when you say started from the bottom, this is probably the most unlikeliest of guys to say he's going to be an NBA All-Star. And to his credit, that young man there is resilient. He showed up, but more importantly, I mean, he deserved it. Okay. So I think he has something to prove. And I think what a story, like the inspiration. I mean, it's a phenomenal story. And I think he wants to represent and carry that chip on his shoulder. Like he wasn't, the McDonald's All-American. He wasn't the celebrated guy. The guy had a draft party and had to tell everyone that came to his draft party that, hey, I'm going to be okay. Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? Now he can invite all those people who was at the draft party when he didn't get drafted to the NBA All-Star game. What a story. Mm-hmm. So when you see this big chip on someone's shoulder All-Star weekend, that's Fred. Okay. So I think he will have something to prove. I don't think he's going to come there and be like, I'm just happy to be here. I think he's going to come there and be like,
do you know who I think?
hey,
Do you know who I think? Darius Garland, hometown fans.
Oh yeah,
in
I
Cleveland,
think that's a lot of pressure. Oh,
young,
man.
hungry guy. I think he's got something to prove because that's his town. That's his city now.
Yeah,
he's got the keys to that
it
team.
is.
He's going to have to go out and
is.
show out, you know, and he's got that little home court. He plays on that court every day.
But you know what? He has a guy that's going to be hard for him who's from Cleveland as well. His name is LeBron James. I think that's hard to overcome. That's going to be a little hard to overcome, you know?
Yep.
But I agree with you. I agree with you. And congratulations to him for, you know, his first All-Star appearance at home. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say this. When you play your All-Star game in front of your home fans, it takes you about 2 to 3 weeks to recover. So don't be surprised if the Cleveland Cavaliers go on a losing streak after All-Star weekend.
Interesting.
Okay, Mo, because they're going to be doing the most appearances. They're going to be the most visible, and they have to represent and host in their city. And they're going to be rocking and rolling from Thursday to Sunday night.
Yeah.
And it takes normally about 2 weeks to recover from that. Okay. So if Cleveland goes on a little slide, let's cut us some slack here, Mo, because of this. Because they'll have two guys. Evan Mobley will be there. And I just think those guys are going to be worn out.
I hear you. It's going to be interesting. We've got a great question in here from Sean O'Sullivan, who wants to know who is the biggest snub of all time when it comes to being an all-star. So who is the best player to have never made the all-star game?
The best player in my era, in my opinion, to never make an all-star game was Rod Strickland.
Yeah, I hear that.
Rod Strickland, I mean, there's been a lot of players, but Rod Strickland has always stood out to me because he wasn't just a good player. He was an elite player, and everybody in the league knew it. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like he was just good on this team. Rod was an elite guard. Elite. And he was an all-star guard, put up all-star numbers. I mean, I think he played like 19 to 20 years or something. I mean, something crazy. And he was an all-star. And he was the best player that I played against in my career in that era. And everyone will tell you he was an all-star caliber player. And he was fun. And he had the in and out. He had
you put on a show, like check his highlight reel.
Rod
you guys
was,
at home haven't seen Rod Strickland?
Yo, man, Hot Rod was the best of the best. So, you know, that's my guy. We graduated high school together, but he was without question an NBA level player. I think Rod should be in the Hall of Fame. That's just my opinion. He was really that good.
I think there's a lot of players that have missed out on being an all-star. Yes. You know, I want to shout out some guys like Marcus Camby, Jamal Crawford, Jason Terry.
Jamal Crawford.
And one player who doesn't get talked about enough, Lamar Odom. Because if Lamar Odom played in the NBA right now, he would be a problem. I think he was ahead of his time in the way that he played. Lamar Odom, if you want to do your research, if you only know him from the Kardashians, you're tripping because Lamar Odom would serve up buckets. Okay.
One of the greatest high school players I've seen. I saw him play in high school. One of the greatest high school players. But you know what? That's a great call, Jamal Crawford. Jamal Crawford, another player. I didn't play against Jamal, but one of the great players in this era who wasn't named an all-star. But him and Rod, oh man, I'll take those two in the backcourt any day. That would be a fun backcourt. Rod Strickland and Jamal Crawford. And I like that backcourt right there. I like that.
Man, I'm just did a little bit of research right now as we're talking about that celebrity game, and I look back at the most recent one. Do you know what the final score was in the most recent celebrity game?
No, I do. I can't say I followed the celebrity game.
No, that's why I had to research it. It was 62 to 47. And Common won MVP.
And you're going to have 30. And you're going to have
30. Common was MVP with 10 points and 5 rebounds.
No, Mo, you're going to have 30. So, hey.
I've said it. So it's too late now. I didn't realize that most teams barely even scored 30 points. I've said it, so I'm going to have to do it. Okay. I said it, so I'm going to have to do it. So listen, I'm going to get in the lab. I'm going to get working. I'm going to get on my Giannis. I'm going to get on my Grizzly, whatever you want to call it. But we got one more question. George O'Neill Cummins wants to know if you could pick NBA players from any generation of the NBA and make an ultimate all-star Eastern team and all-star Western team, who would be your starting five? So not the best players, but for an all-star game. 5 players of all time. Yeah. So not your all-time Eastern Conference team, but an all-star. Who would be the most fun? Because, you know, we could say guys like Tim Duncan, for example, would be arguably the greatest power forward of all time. But I wouldn't
for all-star weekend,
all-star team, because his game was very fundamental and it's not flashy that you'd see in an all-star game. Should I hit you with mine while you think about yours?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have missed some obvious names, but this is just off the top of my head. I'm going to go with Allen Iverson at the point guard for the Eastern Conference. And not, at the 2, I've got to have MJ. At the 3, I'm going to have LeBron. I'm going to slide Dominique Wilkins into the 4. And at the 5, I'm going to have a young Shaquille O'Neal from the Orlando Magic. That's my East. And from the West, I'm going to go... I'm going to go with a bit of an unconventional lineup. I'm going to go with Magic running the point, but I'm going to have Steph Curry as my 2 guard. I'm going to have Kobe at the 3, KG at the 4, and Hakeem the Dream at the 5. I think those guys on the court together, that's just greatness, entertainment, whatever you want to call it. But who are you going with, Mr. Armstrong?
All right. I'm going to go, and I'm just going to go with the guards that I love it for all.
Yeah. It's about fun. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Magic in the West.
Yep.
Isaiah Thomas in the East.
I knew you would say that. Yeah.
Okay. Jordan.
Yep.
In the East. All right. Who am I going to go with in the West? You know what? I'm just gonna go because he came off my list. I'm sure I don't get this right, but Clyde the Glide.
Okay. Yeah.
In the West. Yeah. He was always a fun for All-Star weekend. In the East, I got to go with the Doc. You know what I mean? Come on. That's the Doc. In the West,
you got to have the Mamba in there somewhere, man. I'm telling you, you got to.
You know what? Yeah, you gotta.
Because I need to see him and Jordan go head to head. If we talk about all time and we could recreate this and, you know, in another lifetime make this happen.
Okay, I'll go with Mamba, but you know who I really wanted?
Who else would you have? Yeah,
I really wanted Elgin Baylor. I wanted Elgin Baylor.
Roll with it. It's your team. It's your team.
Yeah. But you got to go. You got to raise the level of competitive spirits. You know, it's ready for TV. So I'm going to go with Mamba. In the East, I got to go with Barkley. Barkley was always a fun player in the All-Star game. And then the West, who am I going to go with at the 4 at the West? You know who I like at the.
See, I went with KG because he could do everything. He could run.
That's right. He was at Minnesota for a while.
Yeah. And that one of the most memorable moments from All-Star is the alley-oop he threw up to Kobe, where they call it the love from God, because Kobe caught it out of the sky and threw that down. So I got KG.
Yeah, you got KG, you know, but at the 4, you know who I would love to have playing with Magic? You know who I would love to see play with Magic?
Go on.
Is Dirk Nowitzki.
Dirk. Okay. Yeah, a little bit of shooting space.
Yeah, I want to look at like that would be fun for me just to see that. Okay. And center position in the East or the West, it doesn't matter because they both played in the Eastern Conference and the West. I want to see Shaq versus Will.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see.
The most dominant matchup.
I want to see. Yeah, I want to see Shaq versus Will. So that would be fun.
I hear it, man. These are some great squads. But thank you to everyone who's sending questions. I really appreciate that. We're going to be doing more of these as the season progresses. We're going to be here every day, bigger and better than ever before. Enjoy the All-Star weekend. BJ, what are you looking forward to most? Which part of All-Star weekend are you most looking forward to watching this year?
Well, in 2024, it's a celebrity game for sure.
That's pressure on me now, boy. That's pressure on me now.
You know what I'm really looking forward to this year is the 3-point contest.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a new champion, right?
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to it. But I have my mind now stuck on 2024 My man Mo is giving me, he's guaranteed. He's like Charles Barkley. He's guaranteed a 30 piece.
I've said it and it's on tape, so I can never go back. I'm about to go for a jog as soon as we finish recording this now. I'm about to go run some suicides down there. I'm going to run up a hill.
Hey,
I'm going to get Coach Carter on my back.
You got 24 months to get this thing right because Mo, you said a 30 piece. That's got to be the most points ever in a celebrity game. That's got to be. So
all we do is greatness, BJ. You should know this. In the words of the great DJ Khaled, all I do is win. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna need BJ coaching. I'm gonna need BJ coaching that celebrity team on the sideline too.
I'm gonna be standing on the sideline with the oxygen because I'm telling you, there's no.
Say no more. Say no more. We'll see. Only time will tell. But in order to get to that point, we're gonna need you guys to keep showing love to this show. Keep tuning in. Keep leaving reviews and ratings. Keep sharing it with your friends. Keep sharing it on social media. It's much appreciated. We see all of the love. I hope you all at home have a blessed weekend. Enjoy All-Star. Get involved on the conversations on social media. And we'll be back Monday morning, bright and early, to recap all of the action. BJ, thank you once again for another week rocking with us.
Thank you.
Thank you to all the fans who showed love to BJ as well. And we had a great guest on this week, Brendan Sir. We had Ronnie 2K on as well. It's been a huge week announcing our sponsorship with NBA 2K22. So like I said, if you want to get your hands on a copy, make sure you hit the link in the description. But until next time, get buckets.